Alright, welcome everyone. How is everyone doing? I am hoping that the audio is working well because I am playing Genshin. Alright, we have a new map up on the screen, and this is my Genshin account. So we're not playing Genshin today, but I did promise, because I had been rambling on about Zhongli enough, here he is, my guy, that I would do, since his banner's restarted, that I would do my pulls for him on stream. The pulls I've saved up at least. So I was having to set up Genshin and its audio and a bunch of other things, so it took me a minute.
Every journey has its final day. Don't rush.
I feel like that was targeted language, sir. One thing is I've actually met the voice actor for Zhongli, so that was fun. Unfortunately, I forgot to bring the Longli, if any of you have, or Chunkly. Chunkly and Longli are produced by the same artist, and I got an adorable plush, and so, I forgot to bring it to con so that I could show it to the voice actor. So, one of my friends stated that if I wanted to pull for Zhongli, there were two different things I had to do. One, my team. Oh, I have a friend's request. Oh, I wonder if that's... We'll look at it in a second. One, I had to have a team that did not have Zhongli on it. So this is my normal go-to exploration, or this is my normal team. Now, normally I have Alhaitham.
Yes.
He's so demanding. We love him. Autism icon. But normally this is my fighting team. But because I'm exploring Subaru right now, I have Tignari on my team because he's both Dendro and he's a bow character, so it makes it really easy for quite a few of the different puzzles in Subaru. So that's why Tignari was there. But we had to pick a team that our character Zhongli likes. So it looks like we're gonna have to make like a leeway team. I actually don't have too many leeway characters. I don't know. Who does Zhongli even... Obviously Xiangling has to be on here. Should we do Chi-Chi as well? Obviously Hu Tao.
I'll bring my notebook.
This Hu Tao is, so... Yes, I promised I'd do my Zhongli pulls on here, if you remember, so I'm trying to, live up to that word. I starved off from pulling yesterday. I wanted to so bad. So right now I'm trying to build... My friend suggested to better entice Zhongli to come home early, I needed to make a team of characters that Zhongli likes. And so I'm like going through my available characters, trying to find characters that Zhongli interacts with frequently. So I have Chi-Chi, so Chi-Chi replaced my healer. Of course, Hu Tao goes in the place of my main damage dealer. I think Zhongli should go, or Xiangling should go in the place of my sub DPS. And then I don't know who should, cause he's my support. Maybe Yunjin as my support in place of Mr. Zhongli, because I feel like Mr. Zhongli has to go to the opera. Like, canonically I haven't seen him go to the opera, but I feel like he would go to the opera. Otherwise, it might be a good idea for Yanfei to be the other character, because Yanfei or Yao Yao actually both probably interact with Mr. Zhongli a lot, because they both are friends with Granny, right? So those are both good options. So I'm like thinking about it. I'm like putting too much thought into a team setup when they're not actually gonna be... I'm not gonna be fighting with them. Let's see. I've literally lost Yunjin. Where did she go? I'm like... Oh, there she is. I was like, I'm blind. Where is she?
Let's get this show on the road.
I feel like this is a pretty good team right here. The only thing is maybe since Yao Yao is also technically a healer, we could replace Chi-Chi with Yao Yao for that, like, explosion. Thank you. I need it. I have terrible... Mr. Zhongli likes to test my patience because anytime I don't have a guarantee on his banner... Oh my gosh, I almost have a 10 pull, and I'm at 65 pity on HS on Honkai Star Rail, so I need to win the 50-50. That's the thing, is I do not have the 50-50. As you can see, I was working on my tree. I was working on the onion. I'm at 22 on the onion. I'm gonna see, is this friend request, Patel? It is! Oh, I must. Alright, everyone. We must say thank you to, Pablini, because yesterday I was on here trying to get this, banner or name card or whatever it's called, this one, and I had none of the achievements for it, Outrealm 4. And Pablini let me sit there and go to every single boss in their world and do the co-op with me to successfully get this banner. I did not have a single one of these achievements, as you can see by the date. And they just sat there, they like went through every single one with me so that I could get this banner because I really wanted this one because I thought it was cool. But they said if I had any more, they could also do it. So they also helped me do the entirety of 3 as well, and the last couple I needed for 2. So definitely gonna accept that friend request. As you can see, I have a good chunk of the achievements. A lot of the battle ones are the ones where I'm missing them. We're working on it. But yeah, no, definitely accepting that. That was so nice of them. I think I like bothered them for like over an hour because they were just helping me go and get every single co-op boss. It was really nice. So now I have this gorgeous name card, which will probably stay this name card for like ages. And then this is my my profile thing. I liked having the name cards in color order, and these are my favorite name cards so far. This one's not one I'm favorite too much, but because this achievement is such a nightmare to get, I wanted to kind of like boast that I had gotten it. Because Tears of Snezhnaya is just an absolute awful thing to get. But it's like this is my favorite character per element I have on here. And so I'm a little concerned. I haven't gotten to Fontaine yet, but I'm kind of concerned if I get Nouvelt, that my Hydro favorite might change. And same thing for Chongyun. Chongyun has been my boy. Chongyun is my boy, and I have had him because he is my first 4-star since I got this game, and so he's been my favorite cryo, and that's why he's the only 4-star on my list. But Risley, Rorsley, the new 5-star Duke of the Prison or whatever he is, because again I haven't gotten to Fontaine yet, might snatch Chongyun's spot. And then I probably will have to change this either to the Traveler, because this background just screams Traveler, right? It looks exactly like the opening bit, the opening point of the story, so I might change this to Traveler, or I might change it to Zhongli, because Zhongli is my favorite. Oh, Ningguang. I think Ningguang's underrated. Like, she's an amazing Geo support.
Idle my time.
But we talked about Hu Tao. This Hu Tao, for one thing, stole my pity because I was pulling desperately for Toma when he came out on Hu Tao's banner, and I ended up getting Hu Tao right before Albedo's banner, and then I missed Albedo. I had to wait till one of his reruns to get him. I never use him, but I wanted to have him. And then Kazuha has been like dodging me. I tried pulling on his first banner when a lot of people were like, oh, I'm gonna skip him, right? But I have been pulling and I have lost every single 50-50 to this guy until his last rerun, and I had a guarantee. That's the only way I've gotten this guy. I have been trying to get him since day one, and he's like, nope. And of course I put his story sword on him. And then same thing with Alhaitham. I tried to get him in his first round, lost the 50-50 to... where is she? I lost the 50-50 to Jean, right? And then on the second time, his rerun with Kazuha, I lost the 50-50 again to Jean. I now have C1 Jean trying to get Alhaitham, but then because I had the guarantee, I was able to get him again. I don't have Kave though. It's very sad. And then I'm just like gushing and introducing you to my Genshin. And then we have Diluc, and he does have his skin. Because Diluc was my first 5-star, and if I could get his freaking Wolf's Gravestone sword, I would literally like use stuff to make sure I could get, like, if I could buy the Wolf's Gravestone in the store, I would do it. Like, if they did what they did with like Star Rail, have fun. If you're working on your music, good luck. I would buy it so fast. I pamper this man. And he seems to like it because I have him at C2. But yeah, but the reason I talk about my Diluc is because Hu Tao has been stealing all of Diluc's artifacts because I have been grinding a stupid domain, the Crimson Witch domain, trying to get good artifacts for Diluc, and I've only been getting good artifacts for Hu Tao. I think people are like, oh, you grind the Crimson Witch? Oh, you must be going for Hu Tao. So I have like a pretty decent Hu Tao, in my opinion. It's not the best Hu Tao, but it's a decent Hu Tao. And it's annoying because the artifacts on my Diluc are way worse. Okay, so we now have...
has been feeling a little snug these last couple of days.
Alright, so we have a decent outfit. Or not outfit, a team to try and entice Mr. Zhongli to come and visit. Now, there's like a boat or something over here that's like a luxury boat. And we're gonna go to that boat to do pulls so that we have both a team and a good spot. I don't have his husband. I pulled on Child's banner before, and I was not... It's that boat right there. And I did not get him. And then I think the times he's rerun since then, there's always been like another character I want more coming up, so I was never able to get him. But yeah, so now that I've gushed and showed you my Genshin account, we'll do some pulls. I only have 4 pity. I do not have guarantee. But we'll see if Mr. Zhongli will come home and I can at least get C2. I would obviously love to get more than C2. But If I can at least get C2, I'll be happy. And then once we have, let's get the stamina restored. And then the schedule for today is, once we have the pulls done, we'll switch back over to Honkai. And then right before this stream, I was able to finally get everybody's traces maxed out. And so we will be able to level up my equilibrium finally to level 4, and we'll see if I'll instantly hit max again, considering how much experience I have built up. And we'll see if I should have almost enough pulls for a 10 pull to see if we can get Dan Heng in his 5-star form. If not, I should by the end of the stream. So we'll be able to pull for Dan Heng either at the beginning of our Honkai, or of our Star Rail stream, or at the end. I did look up how to get those books that the new alchemist lady, the alchemist chief asked for. You can get them, like they are out and about, and so we'll do that. Alright, let's sit at one of these. Oh, I've also, apparently the sitting mechanics for each of the characters have also been changed. I don't know if you can see it quite on these characters, but like apparently they have like individual, how they sit down. Alright, let's put Guoba down, and then we will sit down as Hu Tao, and let's do a pull. Alright, so as you can see, I have 85. Let me just... Alright, we have 87. And once we start pulling, we'll be able to do some more pulls. But I do only have 4 pity. So we're very, very low. So let's see. First 10 pulls. This will be in the 14 range. I would like the new boy, because I was not able to get Lenny in the meantime while I'm pulling for... Okay, Sayu. Sayu's story quest is kind of funny when you do like her hangout. Alright, we got 1 Sayu. Alright, that was 14. This will be 24. Oh, not the bell. Alright, the bell. That'll be 34. The anticipation when you were originally looking at the star, hoping it turns gold and gives you that rainbow, is just a lot. Ooh! We got at least a new guy, and apparently he does use the bell, because that's definitely the bell right there. Apparently he's also a physical damage dealer like Eula is, so that's interesting. I wonder why they picked like 2 Cryo Claymore characters to be physical damage dealers. Because that means Chongyun's still the only Cryo Claymore damage dealer, which is interesting. So we got Nasayu and, how do you say his name? Firmament? Fernet? Alright, 44. Okay, our second Sayu. I think the only character on here that, like, I don't need Noelle because I already have C6 Noelle. Alright, this is 54. Ah. I swear I thought I saw a little bit of like a golden sparkle and I got really excited for a second. Our third Sayu. I already know I had a few constellations with Sayu. I'll probably max her out in these pulls. Oh, and I guess that was the last one was the max. Alright, 64. Ah. Yeah, I usually have to hit like the 70s before I get a character. Dragon's Bane. Okay, I already have Noelle maxed out. I would've... Now that I have both Sayu and Noelle maxed out, we'll need some Firmament constellations. Firmament? Okay, we're down to 2 more 10 pulls. We're at 64. Hopefully he should come in the next 10 pull. Oh no, okay, we're going up to 74. We still have to win the 50-50. Oh my goodness. The entire Ariana, what are you doing here? Sound bit just played in my head. Kaveh. Well, that's a good 10 pull right there, if I do say so myself. The Master of Destruction has arrived. I'm a little concerned about what that means if I'm gonna win the 50-50, but welcome, Kaveh. I wonder if that means I have all the 4 stars now. Because I think I was just missing Kaveh. I'll check after this. Kaveh, welcome to the team. I have your husband. He is in my teapot currently. Alright, last 10 pull, but I am at 74, so hopefully, because this will put us at 84. Yes, okay, 10 pull, 10 pull, 10 pull, 10 pull. You know, double Zhongli wouldn't hurt, but at least let me win the 50-50. Please, just let me win the 50-50. Oh, okay, I already have Sayu. 50-50, please. 50-50, please. Please, 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 please. Yes! Okay, C2 Zhongli. He came home late. He makes me wait for it. He came home at 81. 81! Oh my gosh, he makes me wait for it every time. Alright, let's go to the shop and get some of these. As you can see, I have Ningguang and I have forgotten how to say his name properly, so we'll just not say it in general. And then, alright, I do have pretty high pity on the weapon banner, but my issue is the last few times I've done the weapon banner, it always gives me the one I didn't pick. Like, I'll have this one set as my preferred, and it always gives me the other one. And that has happened on the last 2 weapon banners that I've pulled on. I'm at 63. Let's see, because this should be at 73. Okay, temple, temple, temple. Okay, Vortex Vanquisher, please and thank you. Do not give me Child's Bow. I do not need it. I do not have Child. Yes! Okay, that is R2 Vortex Vanquisher. I know a lot of people don't like this weapon for Zhongli, that there are better ones out there for him. But this thing it increases his shield, and so even though my Zhongli's HP is not very high, his shield lasts forever because I have Vortex Vanquisher on him. Okay, don't do that to me, game. I really thought that was the second Vortex Vanquisher because of the shape. Oh my gosh. Okay. Okay. Let's go, that puts us at C2, which is really important because now if I'm in co-op, whenever I do his shield, it also will put shields on the people who are in co-op with me. So now we have C2 Zhongli. It'll take a while, but I am determined to get C6. And then your weapon. Let's refine this bad boy. Yes, I know. But yeah, so see here, increases shield strength by 25%. So. And then while he has his shield on, his attack goes up by 100%. So, it's actually a pretty good weapon. And it fits his design perfectly, so we are happy with it. Okay, I'm so glad I won the 50-50. I was so nervous, everyone. But there we go. He now is C2. And of course I'm gonna keep pulling while his banner's up. Because would love to get more of his constellations while he's here. His next one helps with his talents. I think the next two are talents. Yeah, these two both increase his talents. This increases the power of his ultimate. This is talent. This is power of his ultimate, talent. And then if you get him to C6, he actually becomes a healer. And so definitely want to get him to C6 because then I could have Zhongli replace my healer. Alright, Hu Tao, you did your job. You brought Mr. Zhongli home. Because my ultimate goal, team-wise... Oof, that gets me every time.
What shall we do?
Is to have Zhongli be both my shield and my healer.
Want me to come along?
Kazuha,
Yes.
Alhaitham, and D-Luke.
What's our objective?
This is the team I eventually want. Unfortunately, I don't have C6 Zhongli yet, so can't have him replace my healer yet. So Kokomi has to continue her job at keeping me alive.
I'll lead the way.
If I didn't have these two, I would die constantly in this game, honestly. Like, between him making it so I don't have to dodge and her being a constant healer, I never have to worry about anything. And then I will show you all my only claim to fame is the amount of exploration I have done. So, all of Mondstadt, all of Dragonspine, all of Leeway, and that is including the Chasm, I also have the chasm at 100%. If I can get it to zoom, I cannot get it to zoom out. There it is. 100%. What are these again? Oh, these are time trials I haven't done. It's 100% even though there's like 3 time trials I haven't done. Where is it? There it is. I have all of Inazuma at 100%. No. Oh my gosh, let me zoom out. I have all of Enkanomiya at 100%. Let me tell you, there's so much lore in Enkanomiya. Like, so much lore. Now, as I said, the Aranara kicked my butt. Like, I lost all interest in the game once the Aranara were here. So only recently have I got, like, back into it really hardcore. And so I've been working on my exploration. So as you can see, I almost have all of the rainforest at 100. I only have to finish up this last section. My desert's nowhere near as explored, because I have done literally almost nothing in it. And then Fontaine. So once I finish up exploring here, I'll start working on the main quest and get everything and start getting stuff in the desert done. I'm not excited to do the desert, guys. I've been pushing it off, hence why there's so much of this exploration done. But that's my claim to fame in the game, is that much exploration being done. So that was my Genshin pulls. We got Zhongli, we got his Vortex Vanquisher. So all in all, a pretty good haul, I would say. So I'm now gonna, let's see, we're gonna close out of Genshin. And start up Star Rail. Hopefully this runs easy, doing the switch. That's what I spent a while doing. Trying to set that up so it would be quick for you all. Ooh. Alright, let me check the audio real fast. Okay, audio seems good. You all can still hear me. You can see it. Okay, cool, cool, cool. We did not absolutely just run into the plague. Alright, so what I was super excited to show you all and why I'm in front of this flower is right before the stream started, I was working on my last set of traces. And so now everybody's traces is maxed out to what I can currently do at my level. I even have the preservation path fully maxed out trace-wise, even though I never use it. I much prefer his destruction path. Also, when are we getting the hunt? I thought, like, we would get the hunt path by now. But anyway, so since we have all of this done, I can finally do the equilibrium thing, the equilibrium test. And the reason I'm super excited about that is because I have so much XP saved up. I mean, look at this. The max is 5,700. I have 218,025. I'm willing to bet once I do the equilibrium quest, I will instantly max out to equilibrium. Once I get to equilibrium 4, I will instantly max out. That is the wrong way. This way. This game has been bugging me since I set foot on the CN show to do this quest, so to do the upgrade. So So I'm at 7. So we're getting really close to where I can do another 10 pull. And this thing has so many stellar jades, so I am very excited for that. We should be able, hopefully, to do that 10 pull today. Alright, so let's challenge it with my go-to team. I literally haven't made any other teams, so it's kind of my only team, but, you know, go-to sounds better for them.
We need a strategy.
Alright, so 3 of the characters I brought can fight that one. Only 1 for this one, so
I commend faced with an army. Bide your time.
Oh my gosh, guys, I was so...
Next opponent.
Oh. It's gonna make me fight.
Conflict is painless.
I was so concerned that I would lose the 50-50. Ugh.
In the name of Len, a will forged in ice never falters. Rules are made to be broken.
That C2 could have come in handy yesterday when we were I was doing a bunch of co-op battles, but you know, it is what it is. I think the biggest thing that ended up being interesting was every single boss monster we fought, I took the drops for it, so I ended up using a lot of fragile resin because we did every single boss in Sumeru and every single boss in Fontaine, both, and so it was quite a few of them.
Nothing major. Eternal sleep. The dead return.
But I have a lot of fragile resin saved up because I just never used it.
Show no mercy.
Oh, I should have saved it for like 5 seconds. Because farming is like the worst thing ever for me.
Conflict is pitiless.
Fuck.
Let's go.
So I have like 160 or so fragile resin saved up. It's quite a bit. I could probably just sit there and farm artifacts or really anything for like an entire day.
Hope you're prepared.
We'll save his ult because I'm about to defeat this guy, so I might as well save it for the other boss. Perfect.
Battles are chess games. No,
I'm with you.
I commend.
Let's wait.
Alright, we'll start with Gepard because freezing the opponent is the best way to fight. Oh, since the boss has aggro, I wonder if you could like lead it over to the other boss and fight them at the same time.
Next opponent.
Here, this thunder. You chose the wrong enemy.
This ends here.
Okay, now we'll use the ults. Reduces strength.
Show no mercy.
Rules are made to be broken.
Okay, and then see if we can freeze him.
Let's go. prepared.
Let's make it quick.
Follow my charge.
This ends here. In the name of Landau, a will forged in ice
Never falters.
There's no time to lose.
Nope. I don't need the ult right second.
Let's go.
We're only making minor progress, but it's progress nonetheless. Minor damage.
You chose the wrong enemy.
This ends here.
Eternal sleep.
The dead return!
Let's make it quick.
Rules
Are made to be broken.
Let's go.
Alright, let's boost their shields just in case I don't break this ult in time. Oh, well. Alright, part 4. Instantly got part 5. And we maxed out to 60 instantaneously. Yep, and we're fully maxed out for the next one, so if we wanted, we could go up to Equilibrium 5 right now. Because we are already fully maxed out. I was so excited to finally have this mission off my screen, but it's like, nope. Now you have part 5. Where's part 5? Oh, part 5's on the Hertz space station. Okay. Well, that's a while away. We gotta go back through all the leveling and whatnot before we get to part 5. But, you know what I am excited for? We have 10 levels of items to get from... just Welt. Oh, Arlen.
Now this type of cushion looks like it'd help with fatigue. You know, from sitting too long. The material is super soft. Whoever made this had relaxation in mind. Sadly, a lot of our researchers get shoulder and neck pain. They're sat at their desks most of the day. Lady asked about ergonomic chairs for everybody. But I feel like there's still room for improvement. Cushions like this one might actually be the missing piece. Who'd have thought I'd get ideas for office furniture while sightseeing on the Express?
Arlen is so cute. Honestly. 4? Really? Just 4 off? Alright. You are hanging out over here. $51, $52, $53, $54, $55. Oh, am I one off? Nope. 57, 58, 59, 60. And this one is telling me that I need to get up to Equilibrium. Okay, so it's currently going up to 70. Got it. This one's like, do Equilibrium 5, and I'm like, I would get my absolute butt beaten if I did Equilibrium 5 right now. Alright, let's take a look. Ooh, 6. We went up to 6 pretty fast. But that should give me enough Stellar Jade for at least 1 to 2 pulls. Yes, and I have 7 currently, so with that, that makes 9. So only a few more and we'll be able to do a poll for, well, no. Maybe, no. I'm kind of tempted, not gonna lie. But we'll wait. So we won't be able to do that poll here. Alright, the books. Alright, so if you remember, we were on the CN show, and we were in the Alchemy Commission, I believe. Oh, wait. Love him. Anyway, so if you all remember, she is the new Alchemy Commission chief alchemist after Don Shu jumped ship. Now, she has asked us to get 3 books, or 3 forbidden tombs for her, and she told us about 3 types of people, or like what the books could do for you. Like making someone who is blind be able to see, making someone who is not that intelligent become super intelligent overnight, that sort of thing. And then driving someone mad. Now, one of them is in the new area, Arum Alley. So I'm gonna pretend I can't see anything because I have not explored this area yet. And we're just gonna make a run for where the item is. If I can figure out how to get there is the big point, obviously. Get that space anchor. I cannot see that chest. That chest does not exist. Alright, so here's one of them. Confused Cloud Knight. What happened to you, Mimi? Can you just act normal? You're starting to freak me out, you know. Hold on, Zinzin. I'm still trying to figure out the current situation. This D-Ting can talk? Yeah, I'm just astonished as you are. This D-Ting has served me for 40 years, and now it suddenly starts talking. Hey, I know you. You're Kalis, right? I heard that you're a knowledgeable outworlder, so maybe you happen to know why my D-Ting has suddenly started talking. Here's the thing. I confiscated some stolen property from the disciples of Sanctus Medicus, and among them was a booklet called The Manuscript of Wisdom, with all sorts of weird symbols on it. I didn't know what text was, so I asked Mimi to sniff it for any sense, but as soon as Mimi started flipping through the pages, it suddenly sat down and started sighing. I mean, Mimi's a 40-year-old D-Ting. By this point, glitches and bugs aren't uncommon in it. It kept muttering, "Humans are so stupid." That's the first thing I've ever heard it speak using a human tongue. Well, I don't think we need him to explain what's going on. Perhaps not even he knows what has truly transpired. The weird symbols on the manuscript of wisdom are actually a logical circuit that enlightens its readers through visual transmission alone. Literal people tend to give meanings to symbols, which will prevent them from truly understanding the content within the manuscript of wisdom. Thanks to the sudden enlightenment, now I've come up with 100 ways to destroy this world. Looks like you have to go, Mimi. Can't you just think before you act? I'm simply too smart to do something meaningless like destroy the world. Only the morons from the Antimatter Legion of the Annihilation Gang would do such a foolish thing. In short, it's beneath me to destroy the world. Absolutely not. But how smart have you become? Maybe you could ask it a question, Kalis. I love the what are the winning numbers for the next lottery jackpot. I don't think this needs to be proven. If even you say so, then I'll believe that Mimi has indeed become smarter. Your expression gave you away as soon as Chin Chin mentioned the book. Please give the book back to him, Chin Chin. The owner of the text must have entrusted him to retrieve it. Huh? But this is stolen property. Are you sure that we should just give it to him? Just give it to him. If I'm not mistaken, this book belongs to the Alchemy Commission and he's working for them. Since Mimi says so, I'll give this book to you, Kalis. Just don't lose it. Please keep it safe, Kalis. This book is far more dangerous than it seems. Just imagine if it wasn't a cute little deting like me that became enlightened by but a fierce, deadly monster. That'd be terrible. I'm just a deting. What can I do? Join the Genius Society? Ha! I'll just keep investigating cases with Chin Chin. But you become so smart. Isn't it awesome to have a smart helper for solving cases? Anyway, let's not waste any more time here. We should return and deal with the stolen property. Then we'll be leaving, Kalis. Thank you for your help. So that was the location of the Book of Wisdom. That must be the manuscript of wisdom that Eula was looking for. I should bring it back to her. So that's one of them. Alright, this one's a little bit of a jog to get to. Now, the reason I'm looking these up instead of naturally trying to find them, because it does feel a little bit like a cheat, right, is because this particular hidden quest came with the newest update. And it was after I'd already explored quite a few of the areas. And so since I'd already explored the areas 100%, it would be a little taxing to try and find them again, and have to explore every single area on my own. And so instead, I looked them up for convenience sake. So here's the second one. Xiao Yu, is this where you used to work, Lady Danshu? The air is so fresh here. Who are you talking to? This voice, it's you, mister. It's been a while. Oh, so if you remember, Danshu is blind, right? And so she was helping a little girl get the medicine she needs. And so I believe this is that little girl. And as you can see, she is, I think, no longer blind. What brings you here? I was talking to Lady Danshu, and she said she wanted to show me where she worked. The girl's words ring a bell. Danshu was the master primus of the disciples of Sanctus Medicus. The girl in front of you is the blind girl she took care of. You remember how Lady Danshu died in the Alchemy Commission, and you were absolutely certain of her death. But Lady Danshu is no longer of this world. This might be true for everyone else, but for me, she's right here with me now. And she asked you not to worry. She said she's here to help play with me and won't do anything bad. Not long ago, I received a package containing a strange stone tablet along with a letter left by Lady Danshu. According to the letter, the tablet is called the Manuscript of Silence, and only incomplete ones who are born blind can activate its power. Just keep the tablet on you, and you'll hear a voice that guides you. So I followed the instructions and carried the tablet with me, and I actually heard the sound of silence guiding me. This is amazing. What's more, as I used the tablet, I gradually became able to hear Lady Donshu's voice, like I'm doing right now. She was always too busy with her official duties to play with me, but now we can finally play together. I know, I shouldn't be able to hear her voice. I'm not naive, and I know what's happened. And I know you're here to retrieve the tablet, right? But before that, can I bid farewell to Lady Donshu, mister? I don't have time to bid farewell to her last time. An unwavering determination emanates from her glassy eyes. Okay, she is still blind. I thought the tablet would give her sight. Seeing this, you simply don't have the heart to deny her request. Considering it gave the D-Tink sentience, that's what I expected it to do. But, alright. Thank you for your help all this time, Lady Donshu, but I'm afraid it's time for me to walk my own path without you. Please don't worry, I'll follow your instructions and live well on my own. Farewell, Lady Donshu. Xiao Yu hands you the stone tablet she's been carrying with her. I should go home too. See you next time, mister. I'll walk you home. Thanks, but there's no need. Just like Lady Donshu said, I'll have to walk on my own path for the next few hundred years. Stumbling and wavering, Xiao Yu disappears from your sight. Anyway, here's the manuscript of silence. I should return it to Yulo. Alright, and then there is one more. Trying to figure out what map this one's on. Oh, it's on this one. Okay. Alright, so we have Silence and Wisdom, so the last one's Delirium, so I think this one is the one that drove someone mad. Let's see if we can skip the fight scene. How could this happen? Could it be that all those rumors about the manuscript of Delirium are true? What's going on here? It's you! I've seen you in the Alchemy Commission, and you seem to be close with the Dragon Lady. Please help me! Something seems off about this man. And don't touch that book. I think he was knocked out by the curse of that forbidden book. Please be careful. Don't worry, I'm here to retrieve the forbidden book. Retrieve the manuscript of Delirium? But this book is really cursed. You can't be too careful about it. We're both students at the academy, and we were interning at the Alchemy Commission not long ago. We heard about the Forbidden Tombs, so we took advantage of the chaos in the commission and snatched one of them. Many people have heard of the horrible legends of the manuscript of Delirium. Legend has it that it's filled with forbidden knowledge. Any reader who are not well prepared will be knocked unconscious at the very first sight. Those who woke up later would tell stories about experiences they have never actually had, and their stories varied from one and another. I've even heard rumors about someone losing their life just because they stole a peek into the manuscript of Delirium. Don't worry, I'll be careful. Yeah, that's the attitude. Being students of sciences, we thought they were just baseless rumors. So my boyfriend, Yun, yeah, the guy lying on the ground now, summoned up the courage and opened the book. But the next second, his eyes opened wide and his body twitched and curled into a ball. Then he slurred something like, "Don't come closer," and then he passed out. This is terrible. We'll never dare to tamper with any forbidden tombs again. Please be careful with retrieving it. I'll take my boyfriend to the apothecary. Don't steal again. No, we'll never do it again. This must be the manuscript of Delirium that Yulo asked me to retrieve. I don't think those two students were pretending, but does this book really possess such dangerous power? Oh my gosh, this is the only one we get to mess with. Potentially break our brain. or leave it alone. In this game, there's a lot of like these kinds of choices in this game where you can choose to do an action that normally I would say no to. Like, for example, the coffee cup, right? Back on the Herta space station. You just find a random coffee cup, and it, like, almost hypnotizes you into drinking it. Now, and it gives you the choice, drink it or don't drink it. Now, if it was me, I wouldn't drink it, but because I want the achievement, I drink it. And so, like, Forbidden Book of Knowledge, base thought is like it's going in my inventory. I'm not even gonna look at it, right? But there might be an achievement involved. Let me see if the walkthrough says anything. Okay. It doesn't seem to do anything, so we'll just put it in my inventory. There's no achievement involved. If reading this book could be so dangerous, I'll play it safe and bring it straight back to Yulo. Okay. So now we have the 3 books that she asked for, so let's go back to the Alchemy Commission.
How did I get promoted to...
You return the Manuscript of Wisdom and explain how you retrieved it. Looks like the Manuscript of Wisdom is quite dangerous indeed. Thankfully it hasn't caused any severe consequences so far. Perhaps the Manuscript of Wisdom is not meant for humans, but rather to break the bands of Ingenia. As you know, all Ingenian creations have been deprived of their wisdom after the Arumium Rebellion. If this is the case, we were really lucky that it didn't cause any disasters while it was in the wrong hands.
How did I get...
Oh my gosh. I'm gonna have to do this dialogue each time. You return the Manuscript of Silence and explain how you retrieved it. I know you're worried that Lady Danshu might try to possess Xiao Yu's body or something, but please rest assured, my investigation suggests otherwise. Based on what we found together, I suspect it was forbidden because this tomb's user would so consciously project emotions onto it, and even personify it. The Manuscript of Silence always chooses those who listen carefully as its target, and uses their unusually sharp auditory sense to create a virtual world and confuse their sensations. Senses? It should have been senses, but I'm pretty sure that was sensations. Of course, this is detrimental to their mental health and will have an impact on their social life. That's why the Manuscript of Silence is listed as one of the forbidden tombs. So don't worry, Lady Danshu has been gone for a long time, and Xiao Yu is just an innocent girl who misses her too much. What Lady Danshu did was indeed outrageous, but her concerns for Xiao Yu was genuine. Living beings can be so complex, right? Alright, last one. So it was stolen by those interns. You know, I was wondering why Lady Danshu's remnants would steal this book, because they should be well aware that this book is totally worthless. The book actually contains a lot of prescriptions that shouldn't be made public. The author added some little gadgets to prevent its secrets from being leaked. I believe you were knocked out by an electrical current, right? Oh, so they assume that you would open it, which I didn't, so this breaks the thought process a little bit, but... Once an unauthorized reader opens this book, it will release a powerful electric shock and knock them out. At least, this is what I've heard. As for transplanting memories, that's simply too wild to be true. It's impossible without the help of the Garden of Recollection. Wait, what if they're really involved? Well, anyway, these horror legends will keep young people with unwanted curiosity about the Forbidden Tombs at bay. Thanks to your help, all the lost Forbidden Tombs have been safely returned without causing any calamities. Madame Qingzu was right to have faith in you. Without your help, it would have taken me forever to find these lost manuscripts. Here's your hard-earned payment. I might need your help again in the future. See you then. Strahl in Appraise of High Morale. I thought it would be Stellar Jade. Aw, that sucks. Because I already have the entire Strahl Dooley Bop, the entire shop sold out. Okay, so next on my thing is I can finally get to the event. So that's what we will probably be working on for the rest of the stream. Because look at all this Stellar Jade. Okay. Bailu, who ran away from the Alchemy Commission, seems to be an exalting sanctum. Greet her, and maybe you can figure out why she is always coming to this place. Sharp as you are, you've already discovered that she always appears at opportune moments to lead you into unknown danger. She always gets us in trouble. But we're still gonna go say hi. I think that's fun.
If we're not on patrol, we should get some rest.
Alright, hello.
Over here! You're easy to spot. Are you going to Aramali?
I guess, yeah.
A new arrival like you should get a tour guide.
Aren't you a doctor? Seems fair.
As a renowned doctor, I regularly go out for street food. After I'm done treating my patients, that is. Anyway, basically, I'm an expert on all the culinary delight the Shenzhou has to offer. So, hire me as your tour guide already. I won't charge anything for my services. Except for food, of course.
Yeah, but the amount of food you demand might be more than if I just hired you with credits.
And if you get into medical trouble, gastrointestinal discomfort, sprained ankle, yada yada, you'll have a professional doctor right by your side. That's a 2-in-1 deal. Yay!
Let the food tour begin. I'm curious how this event will work.
Huh? Hurry up! Do you want the snacks to sell out?
Change back into the Trailblazer for an authentic attitude.
We've reached our destination, Aram Alley. Of course, the main feature of this tour is the endless selection of tasty delicacies. The folk dishes at Spices Supreme are a must-try. This is the only place on the Lawful you can find them. So, now that we're here... Recommend? I think you mean I'd like to treat you to some Shenzhou delicacies.
No, you're my tour guide. Do tour guide stuff if you expect to get food out of it.
Let's start with the snack stands. You can browse around for a bit. I'll go find us a seat while you make up your mind.
I should see what the other customers have to say about the food here.
Once again, love, love, love Kalis's voice. Okay, let's read what this actually says. The decaying Arum Alley has now found a chance for revitalization. It can either be funded and rebuilt by the IPC, or it can be led back to prosperity by the local merchant guild. And now you are in the position to influence its decisions. Of course you should do the local merchant guild. It's like with any place. The local people should be the ones, if they can, let's specify that, if they can, to revitalize an area, because it keeps the local money moving and also makes it so that the people who actually live in the area can make decisions to influence the area instantly. 100% immediately. It's like, those are my decisions. Keep the IPC out of it if at all possible. Alright, let's go ask people some questions.
Same great taste. Oh, interested in the food? In Arum Alley, there's no such thing as a bad food stall. Just close your eyes and pick one at random. My name's Xiaohan. I'm originally from Arum Alley, but this is my first visit in a long time. When I was away, I'd stay up at night reminiscing about the flavors and aromas of this place. Are you feeling adventurous or cautious? If you're really feeling adventurous, you could try some mung bean soda.
Why is that everybody's like go-to, like, we're gonna prank the people who've never tried it? Because I swear every single person is like, oh yeah, try the mung bean soda. But that's literally what happens when you go to foreign countries, is like they kind of want to play a little prank on you, because that happens a lot. I think in Japan, they'll specifically, if you ask for a recommendation, a lot of times will tell you to take, it's like this really bitter item. I can't remember what it is. If it's like is it the pufferfish one? Specifically because everybody knows it tastes bad and they just want to like kind of prank you for it.
I describe the taste as unique and a little sour. It's best to drink it in big gulps and let it fizzle in your stomach. That's a great feeling.
Oh, a visitor from afar. May I ask you a question? Do you like Arum Alley?
My first visit here. Can't say yet.
Then I'll have to make sure your first visit here is a good one. I hope you don't mind me prattling on, but since you're an outworlder, are you familiar with the IPC? Do you know if it has a good reputation?
Okay. So this is probably the influence thing they were talking about, right? We get to like say if the IPC is good or not. I agree that they're a cabal of predatory sharks, like 100%. Everything I've read about them is they started out as like a religious sect, and then like a lot of religious sects that start getting into business, they started getting power hungry, and now they're a large mega corporation. And considering my motto pretty much this year is capitalism sucks, that since the IPC is essentially the Walmart of the intergalactic universe, I would definitely say cabal of predatory sharks.
I was a little worried when I heard the president say that the IPC is going to destroy Arum Alley. Well, I can't just leave you here empty-handed. Take a look at the menu, order whatever you want. It's on the house.
Oh shoot, did I not get all of the suggestions? Oh darn it, I meant to go get all of them. I would either get the wrap or the skewer, right? She said we're sitting down, so probably the wrap.
Alrighty.
Oh, I'm giving it to Bailu. I meant to ask more questions to get info. Aw, darn it, that's annoying.
So,
Pure luck.
Great, but it looks like you only brought enough for one person. What am I supposed to do?
When you're interacting with a child, you're an adult, this is what you say. This is if you were talking to a friend, and then this one's just if you wanted to be mean.
Alright, if you say so.
Ah, it's the dragon lady. Here, I'll get you another serving. No need to be shy.
Thank you, Auntie.
Ah, I could have kept it. Amidst the bustling of the diners, time flies by before you even notice. When you return to your senses again, you find yourself immersed in the atmosphere of Aram Alley, bustling night market. Aram Alley's bustling night market.
I'm so full of snacks I can hardly move. I haven't even gotten around to business yet. I wanted to stop by Elegance Pagoda to buy some medicine jars while I'm out. Come on, let's go.
Alright. I missed out on some lore, unfortunately. Sorry, everyone.
Hey, what's going on at the dock?
Some of the dock workers got into an argument with the IPC folks.
I'm assuming that's what is going on over there in the background.
Watch your words. No need to be aggressive here.
How about we go see what's happening at the dock? What if someone gets hurt and needs medical attention? Come on!
I wasn't saying no, I'm just saying that it sounds like a fight's about to break out, so we need to be cautious. Oh yeah, speaking of a fight, since I updated my characters... I can finally do these materials. Alright, let's start by... I need more of these. Let's do half.
Nice.
So that I can then do half of these. Perfect. That makes me a good chunk of them. See if there's anyone. Oh, I forgot. I'm gonna have to do stagnant shadows. Oh, I forgot about that. Alright. And the next one's locked until I do 5. Alright, half of these guys. So that I can make half of these. Can you just imagine doing this in public? Just making things out of, like, the abyss? People would be freaking out. I'm gonna get in fights. I should probably level up any of my characters that I can. Oh, we got a new point. Still can't get there. Can I do this one? Nope, that's with Ascension 6. Oof. Alright.
When did you decide to show up, little Miss Feisty? How is this any of your business?
As a Cloud Knight, I can't just sit back and do nothing when I see civil unrest. And for your information, my name isn't Little Miss Feisty. It's Sushang.
You get him, Sushang.
Please, miss, allow Arum Alley Merchant Guild to take care of this matter.
You're from the Merchant Guild?
What a joke. You people can't take care of anything.
I don't feel like someone who's visiting a different planet and trying to set up shop on that planet has the right to speak like that.
Everyone here knows that our Room Alley Merchant Guild is as incompetent as it is dysfunctional. The lease for the docks isn't even paid yet. Anyone care to guess whose fault that is? I'll tell you, the Merchant Guild's.
I'm not denying that.
Then say it out loud so everyone can hear. Our Room Alley Merchant Guild apologizes to every vendor here for defaulting on the lease and leaving us to pick up the mess. Better yet, get down on your knees and beg for forgiveness.
Yeah, and why should they do that from you? I would beat this man up, honestly. Or I would... Awful.
Wait! Easy! We just came to watch!
Bailu, we beat up a man together earlier. Why are you being the voice of reason now?
You're being completely unreasonable. Why can't we talk this over?
I'm not being unreasonable. I'm making a friendly inquiry. When will the IPC receive its lease payments?
I'm afraid we can't pay at the moment.
We leased this whole dock to your merchant guild, hoping that it would rejuvenate our Room Alley. And look at it now. A perfectly good freight dock has gone to waste.
Why do you own this dock to begin with?
They said at the moment. That doesn't mean they'll never make the payments, right?
Don't be so gullible. How about we make a little bet? If the Merchant Guild can pay back the money it owes, I'll get down on my knees and apologize to all the people of our Room Alley. I'll shout it loud and clear. I'm a raving idiot howling into the wind, and then I'll bark like a dog. How does that sound?
It sounds like a very...
And if they can't?
That sounds like such a traditional, like, Chinese donghua, like, bet where the rich young master is, like, coming in and, like, bullying the normal people, the commoners, whatever, and then he makes a bet exactly like that, being like, I will pretty much denounce my family name, strip naked, and run through the city, saying what an idiot I am while, like, barking like a dog or squawking like a chicken. And then you have our MC, who's, like, secretly overpowered and a badass, who makes the bet, who, like, somehow helps them win, but of course the bad guy will try and, like, sneakily sabotage us, but ultimately will survive. It's one of those plot lines. We love it. I love those so much. It's the kind of drama I do like in my Chinese manhua, or donghua, because I'm a sucker for it. I love MCs that just beat up the rich. It's great. It's escapism we all wish we could do.
Oh, that's simple. You apologize to me in front of all the people of our Room Alley, and you bark like a dog.
This is so childish. I agree, though, that it is very childish. But I would wait. We're obviously gonna offer our help because that's probably the whole point of this event. But this is Su Shang's matter. She can decide to do it if she wants. Plus, Bailu already told us to stop.
What should she do?
Deal.
You all heard that, right? I'll be waiting for you. Come on, let's get out of here.
I just noticed Su Shang's boots are different heights. One goes up to like almost her knee, so it's like on her calf, and the other one's like an ankle, just higher than an ankle boot.
Miss, there's no reason for you to take such a bet. We're the ones who dragged you into this.
It's okay. Seeing that arrogant sneer on his face made me sick to my stomach. I had to do something.
We appreciate you sticking up for us. But this...
Maybe. But you can't give in to bullies.
My name is Ming Shi. I'm the secretary of Arum Alley Merchant Guild. Most people just call me Miss Secretary. This leasing dispute is between the IPC and the Merchant Guild. You shouldn't have been dragged into it.
What I want to know is, why does the IPC Guild own this dock? Like, that's my thing, is like, why do they even have land rights to this dock when it's a Ciensho ship?
Sure is. I've already started placing bets.
So, is it true that the Merchant Guild can't pay back the lease?
Miss Secretary, just tell it like it is.
As things stand now, the Merchant Guild is in no position to pay back the lease. Yes, the entire port. Now we owe the IPC an arm and a leg. The food hawkers are thriving, but dock operations and other businesses are stretched to the breaking point.
If we make the businesses more profitable, then maybe we have a chance of paying back the IPC.
If we cut costs and tap into new revenue streams, we can turn things around. A lot of vendors in Arum Alley don't want anything to do with the dock, though, so it may be hard to find new sources of revenue.
Well, I mean, if the dock was originally owned by the IPC, I also would not want to use it, even if it was convenient, because I would want to use a dock that was actually owned by someone who lives on the Ciensho ship, like a local dock, instead of one owned by a foreign business.
What about cutting costs?
Cutting costs means reducing expenses. As you can see, the dock isn't even fully utilized, and the workers, well...
Hey, don't get any funny ideas about laying people off.
Miss Secretary is just helping us think of ideas. If you ask me, I think our ordering system is rather inefficient. I'm sure we could reduce our costs if we found a way to improve it.
I didn't realize you were such an entrepreneur.
Even the president hasn't been able to solve anything. Is this short lifer really up to the job? At this point, I guess we've got nothing to lose.
The people on this ship use short lifer as an insult. I'm about to, like, start aiming for people's solar plexuses. Solar plexi. Okay, Arum Alley's hustle and bustle inventory arrangement. Complete the inventory arrangement on the Freight Star skiff and reach the shipping targets to earn Merchant Guild funds. Select goods to perform rapid arrangements. Drag or rotate goods to change their position. Look, Kalis, this is the Freight Star skiff parked at the dock. The dock workers would do inventory arrangement here. Miss Secretary said if we complete shipping targets through inventory arrangements, we can earn Merchant Guild funds. Most of the Merchant Guild's earnings come from docks. Earning Merchant Guild's funds is the key to paying back the debt. Below are undispatched goods from various stores in Arum Alley. They can be arranged. Try to drag the goods onto the dock. Drag the goods. The dock workers will move them. After arranging the goods, the profit will be calculated based on the goods' value. Okay, click to swap views. In this view, drag the goods to the star skiff. Of course, you can also click the goods to perform rapid arrangement. You can move or rotate the goods. Okay, so you kind of have to make sure they all fit. Got it. Complete general orders to receive shipping revenue. Now that we've got a decent amount of profit, let's begin shipping. Oh, it's another little, business tycoon game. I love these. Oh, this will be delightful.
This will certainly save us on shipping costs.
What, were you only putting like 2 on a star skiff or something?
Isn't this a little unsafe?
Don't worry. Our motto is safety first.
I've heard that from a business or two. Literally me.
Hey, what's gotten into you?
Impressive, but if if you ask me, inventory efficiency isn't enough to save us. If Heron Express doesn't deliver the goods, then they're just gonna sit around collecting dust.
The Heron Express owes me so many favors.
I see your point. If you have the time, could you accompany me to Heron Express's Arum Alley branch office?
Of course. It's just... I'm better with brawn than brains.
But I want to do the inventory management. The game's like, oh, we're gonna show you the other stuff you can do. And I'm like, but inventory management. Alright, sir. Or madam. He's cute.
Why, it's Miss Secretary. And who do we have here?
I'm Sushang of the Cloud Knights. I think you already know the little girl with horns on her head. And this is...
I'm Kalis.
Good to meet you all. Miss Secretary, I heard you made a bet with the IPC. And if you lose, you have to bark like a dog?
Sushang made that bet, not the secretary.
The word got out pretty quickly, huh?
Those Outworlders from the IPC are the worst. How did you get bogged down with them?
Right. And if the Merchant Guild pay back what they owe, the only one barking will be that IPC stooge.
We made our inventory more efficient. But the dock workers said we still need a way to distribute the goods. I was wondering if Heron Express would be interested?
Those dock workers don't want to take responsibility. And I'm afraid it's not our responsibility either.
Then who should we blame? The IPC?
The IPC said that they would handle operations in Aurum Alley and promised to give subsidies to the vendors. I suspect they secretly told all the vendors not to use the dock for logistics.
We can only blame ourselves for letting them get away with it for so long if we can't pay back the rent. The financial damages will be manageable, but the reputational damage will be irreparable. If the Merchant Guild loses everyone's trust, it'll become an empty shell of its former self. And without the Merchant Guild, the IPC will have no competitors in Arum Alley's business district.
The IPC wants to turn this place into a big logistics warehouse. By then, the food hawkers and used goods stores will have to move away.
Yeah, pretty common tactic when it comes to big businesses. They will come in and they'll change something, and they'll promise like small guys like, hey, if you work with us, we'll give you a cut, right? And the small businesses are like, oh, this cut is bigger than the losses I'll reach, so that's fine, I'll do what you say. But it's only a beginning of the big businesses' plans to slowly like turn the tides in their favor until they can drive said small businesses out. And so at the time, the small businesses help the big business because they don't realize that the big business is ultimately planning to get rid of them. Very sad.
So no more Aurum Alley?
Correct. The physical space will still exist, but the Aurum Alley we all know, its fragrances, its bustling tourists, will be nothing more than a memory.
Let's not get ahead of ourselves. What are we gonna do about the matter at hand?
On the logistics side, we can reduce costs by making sure the delivery routes are planned efficiently. Mr. Yongfeng, please allow our friend to try his hand at it. He has some skills that could prove useful in this area.
The Heron Express owes me so many favors.
After the Ambrosial Arbor disaster, the use of Jade Abakai for any kind of strategic planning was restricted to certain departments. For business planning in Arum Alley, we can only rely on our brains. Also, the duties of a Merchant Guild consultant include planning, negotiation, and strategy. We're going to be relying on you for more than just delivery routes.
Aren't you the Merchant Guild? Are you not supposed to be doing this yourselves? Like, yeah, I can help, obviously, but like the fact that you haven't thought of any of this before and it takes an outsider explaining it to you maybe shows that there should be other leadership involved. Okay, plan a route from the store to the docks to provide the docks with goods and orders. Start from the store or the end of the route and hold and drag to form a route to the docks. The shorter the route, the higher the score. This is Arum Alley's bird eye view map, supplied by the Heron Express. It can be used to plan the logistics route. This is the Arum Alley dock area we just finished arranging. This is the Heron Express, where a new batch of goods needs to go to the docks. First, finish planning the route from the store to the docks, and the docks will acquire new goods. Hold the left mouse button above Heron Express to drag the route to the designated spot. Okay. Every route has its corresponding logistics score. Every grid used will reduce the score by 1. Now hold down the left mouse button at the end of the route. Press down to adjust how long you want the route to be. Now it's all up to you. Please connect the Heron Express to the dock area as a short a route as possible. After the route is done, the Heron Express will assess it and provide a corresponding logistics score. Done planning, select the complete planning to receive your final score. Low level planning complete. And we got 2. Okay. Don't know if that's good or not.
With these routes in place, logistics costs will be reduced significantly.
I knew it! You're the heroes who can help us revitalize Arum Alley.
Now can you tell us what really happened to Arum Alley?
Well, Arum Alley was originally the busiest night market in Exalting Sanctum. In days past, this alley, famed for its food and commerce, was brimming with Arumatons collecting goods for their masters. But that prosperity has long since passed. Restrictions were placed on civilian Arumatons, and new commercial centers began to spring up. It was like being on a gentle downhill slope. Everyone knew things were changing, but no one thought it was serious.
So they weren't able to update their strategies to deal with the changing environment, and so things started to decline gradually. Got it. The economist major in my brain is loving this event so far.
When the Lawfu was moored for maintenance and trade with the IPC increased, a new threat emerged for the Merchant Guild. The IPC's announcement of a bid for the development of Arum Alley. Their promises were visible, tangible, and extremely aggressive. When the gentle downhill slope suddenly became the edge of a cliff, no one could pretend to ignore it anymore. Both the Merchant Guild and Arum Alley itself were in jeopardy. The contract for operating Arum Alley's business district is about to expire, and the IPC's regional director has seen an opportunity. They orchestrated the dock debt crisis, and that's just the beginning. Meanwhile, vendors in Arum Alley have expressed mixed feelings about the IPC. Some see it as a crouching tiger with malicious intentions, while others see the IPC's promise of high profits as a chance to turn things around.
Yeah, and there will be high profits in the short term, but in the long term you will be driven out. That's what big businesses do.
But now the chill is setting in. Everyone is worried that Arum Alley is going to disappear. The Merchant Guild has to do something to help the merchants here. Therefore, on behalf of the Merchant Guild, I would like to formally extend an invitation to you all to serve as business advisors in the plan to save Arum Alley.
I like to do this, but they have no money. Like, we've already explained that they have no money.
The Merchant Guild is tight on funds, but we'll be sure to make it worth your time.
I'm a mercenary at heart. I can't wait till we play Baldur's Gate because I've heard there's so many choices, and as I stated, I'm a mercenary when it comes to playing games at heart, and I heard there's multiple endings, and so I'm kind of excited to see what kind of ending I'd get in Baldur's Gate.
Why don't you talk it over with everyone first?
Bailu?
I only came here for the food. I didn't expect to get tangled up in all this dock leasing stuff.
It's because you're near me. This stuff always happens to me. I had to fix an entire museum in the last planet we were on.
Still, if you're willing to give it a shot, maybe Orm Alley doesn't have to disappear. So what? The food's the best bit. Orm Alley without food would be like a pill without medicine. Meaningless.
I don't know, sugar pills are an important part of scientific experiments.
I really hope you can help out. I'm not worried about that. I just want to help save Aurum Alley. My home, the Xianzhou Yaoqing, had much closer ties with the IPC. Initially, people thought they were just engaging in a little interstellar investment, but over time, things changed. Gradually, the Yaoqing's younger generations began to enjoy the immersion produced by the IPC's entertainment division. Once they started wearing IPC clothing lines, you could hardly tell if they were Xianzhou locals or IPC employees. After their coming-of-age ceremonies, a lot of them aspired to join the IPC. To make it big, the architecture across the whole delve began to change. Graceful flying eaves I saw as a child became fewer and fewer, and the glazed tiles and fallow earth bricks gradually disappeared. Sleek, monolithic IPC buildings started sprouting up everywhere.
There's like a glitch happening, like right there it is. The Psy Crane is like glitching out.
Many of the Yaoqing locals older than 500, like my mother, will say the Yaoqing has changed. But they're not sure whether this change is leading to a better future, or if it's allowing short-life species to dictate their way of life. It's making everyone anxious.
Yeah, this is something that's just happening in general in society, is like with the fact that we have easier ways to communicate, like the TV and the internet and the computers and whatnot. Like, people can talk to each other in a way that they'd never have before, and it's causing a monoculture where everybody, since they can influence each other and show each other trends from across the world, people are starting to all wear the same things, starting to think in very similar ways across the entire planet. And so, like, a lot of people could say that the actual cultures and the histories and what makes a area unique are going away in progression of this monoculture, and whether that's a good thing or not is debatable, because the issue with any kind of mono anything when there's only one is that if something gets sick, I can use fields for example because I was agricultural economics major, is if you only have one type of plant in a field, right? If some kind of disease gets in that plant and destroys your entire crop, you're done for. You don't have any profit because you've lost your entire field. But say on your field you have 6 different types of crops, and one of the crops gets sick and it completely wipes out that crop. Well, you still have 5 more crops to fall back on, you know what I mean? And so you don't lose all your profit. And so people are concerned with the world becoming a monoculture, that if some kind of societal standard happens, or even disease, that if something happens that's bad, it could spread very rapidly across the entire planet and therefore destroy the society we currently have. So wonder why she's not saying this, or maybe I lost the point, or I interrupted the flow by talking too long. When I saw Mingxi being confronted by the IPC, I felt the same uneasiness. She's been around several lifespans longer than the Stooge, but somehow she was still at a loss on how to deal with him.
If our opponents were martial arts types, I could hold my own against them. But Aurum Alley's problems aren't something we can fight off with a sword.
I did my arm workout yesterday, and my neck, it was like an arm and back workout, and there's one just muscle in my neck that is so cramped. I can barely move my neck.
want to help the Merchant Guild. I want to help everyone at Arum Alley. Please, help me help them.
I'll do the hard labor, but you'll get a sense of accomplishment for their success.
What do you think? Will you become a business advisor for Arum Alley?
I'm getting Stellar Jade out of it. So yes.
Great. I still haven't discussed any of this with the president. Let's go pay them a visit.
Received 2 new orders. You can see I'm like antsy because I really want. I'm at like 65 pity on the limited banner, so I want to see if we'll win the 50-50 and get Dan Heng.
Miss Lian Yan, please tell the president that I have someone who can help us with the leasing situation at the dock, and also bring Arum Alley back to its former glory.
That's a tall order. I hate job interview. Same.
I'll go ask the president's opinion on the matter. Please wait a moment.
Lian approaches the store's doorway and quietly conveys something to the one within. No one hears what she said to the president.
Okay. The president trusts Miss Secretary's judgment, but the applicant still needs to pass a test. You must integrate Oldies Depot into the logistics plan.
Alright, Arum Alley's hustle and bustle logistics planning. Plan a route and use the route advantages to increase the logistics score of the route. This time, Oldies Depot has some goods that need to be transported to the docks. As we establish collaborations with more stores, we need to simultaneously plan multiple logistic routes. Oh, route advantages seem to have appeared in the courier net. Click to see its effects. So it increases my score by 5. Okay. There's no harm in trying. Let's link Oldies Depot to the route advantage. Wonderful. The effect of the route advantage increases the logistics score for Oldies Depot route. Do you remember where the docks are? That's our goal. Next. By the way, it seems like we can zoom in and drag the map to adjust the map view. Well, first of all, I want to change this one. Oh, it's not going to let me change it because I want to move it down to get the advantage. There is also a route advantage near the Heron Express. Try to use it. When you need to adjust the route, you can click the erase mode. Click any spot in the Heron Express route to erase the route from that spot onward. Well done. Awesome, the route planning for the 2 stores correctly raised the logistics score. So I went from like 30 to 31. Okay.
The president acknowledges your expertise and agrees to confer management responsibilities accordingly. Arum Alley Merchant Guild would like to issue a formal request. Please help us emerge from this crisis and revitalize Arum Alley.
Now that that's settled, please come see me at the dock when you have time. You'll be able to help the dock workers do the inventory and help Heron Express with logistics planning. I keep tabs on all the goings-on in Arum Alley, including rumors and the latest gossip. If we can solve some of the problems in the community, it could help in rejuvenating Arum Alley.
Okay, so she's gonna give us the side quests.
If it involves helping people in need, count me in too.
Anytime you need anything, come find me. The important thing right now is to generate enough revenue before the payment due date. I'll be off to the dock then. Stop by anytime.
Yeah, so she'll give us the side quests so that we can, been bothering me. I've been seeing it in my eye. But yeah, she'll give us the side quests so that we can... Okay, that should be enough to get a pull, which is all I need for 10. Okay. We're at 65. I have a 10 pull, which means that'll be 75, which means most likely, I am gonna say most likely, it is enough pulls to get a 5-star. Now, just like Zhongli, I'm not guaranteed. So, we're gonna see if we still have enough luck to win the 50-50. I will tell everyone I have not lost a 50-50 yet. I have not gotten early streamer luck, but so far I have, like I said, I've not lost any of the 50-50s when it comes to the characters. Hopefully Dan Heng will not be the first one I lose, because that would be sad. And then we have 7 of those, so we're getting close there. Alright, Dan Heng, please do not be the first 50-50 I lose. Please. 75? 75? Oh, 75 wasn't enough? Oh, Dan Heng's gonna make us go pretty high. Oh, that sucks. I really was hoping to get... Oh, Arlen, hello. Get a 5-star and be put out of my misery, you know? Oh my gosh. Dan Heng's gonna make us go into the upper 70s and 80s. Ooh, that's rough. Okay. This would get me 3 pulls if I did this. We got an Eidolon for Arlen. Nope. I want to break free. Alright, let's continue the event. Now, it is getting close to time, but I did spend like 30 minutes doing Zhongli. So, since that's not what I was actually meaning to stream for today, we will go an extra 30 minutes so that we get all of our Honkai.
Let's get started on the dock-related work.
Alright, this is the Merchant Guild's funding goal. The Arm Alley's revival requires earning funds to achieve. Okay. You're still quite some way from reaching the goal. Don't be discouraged. Keep conducting inventory arrangements here to earn funds for the Merchant Guild. Okay. Oh, I can't click around to look at things. Alright, specific types of goods only fit in specific types of placement spots. Profit from a single inventory arrangement can be increased by skillfully overlapping goods on top of each other. Since we just established collaboration with stores, the docks have received new general orders. Complete these general orders to earn Merchant Guild funds. Goods are classified as large goods or small goods. Goods of certain types can only fit into their corresponding placement spots. Try to arrange the large goods onto the Star Skiff large placement spots. Now try to place the small goods onto the corresponding small placement spots. I expected no less from you. Now please complete the rest of the requests So I got to be on top of it. Interesting. Okay. Ship. Okay, so... There we go. Organization games like that, we love them so much. Alright, so we need to start with this one. No suitable placement. Okay. Okay, so it couldn't be on the bottom. I was gonna put those on the bottom, but apparently not. Alright. Okay, so we'll need to start with this one. And then I would say this. And then these guys. And then... I still have more space. I could put some stuff on that, but alright. Oh, so if there are still spots open, it lets you get more funds. Interesting. Okay, that's the only thing that can go on here. Okay, that was what I was wondering. If I had extra space, can I just put random stuff on there? Which it looks like I can. Okay, so we got a side quest to work on. Oh, those treasure chests are tempting me.
Dear, what would you like to have today?
Oh, you're finally here, customer. I met a warm-hearted Cloud Knight lady not long ago. She's your friend, right? Must be Sushang. Yeah, she and Miss Secretary of the Merchant Guild came by a while ago. Can I ask you for a favor? I'm thinking of playing some storytelling shows in my store, but I don't know any performers. Would you please go to their live show and record a few pieces for me? No, not at all. I just want to attract more tourists with these recordings. You know, I'm just worried about my regulars. What if I join the guild's logistics network and they start providing takeout food? What'll happen to me then? Well, anyone come to my stall in the long run? But cycling delivery is just so convenient these days. With all the young folks ordering takeout at home, who knows what will happen in the future. Sushang mentioned Back and Forth to me. They're up-and-comers in the storytelling industry. I think they'd be a great fit for my stall. Let's not forget Mr. Zien, a well-known storyteller. My regulars would love his recordings. Please, I really could use your help. Oh, not those two. I've met both of them.
It's getting late. Where to now?
My OBS just said it disconnected. Are you all still... Can you all still see me? Looks like it's reconnecting. My bitrate is atrocious. Says my internet's still good, so I don't know why it's disconnected like this. Sorry, a little bit of trouble in the live stream. I don't think I've ever had OBS have this problem before. Refresh the page. No, it still says I'm currently offline. Oh, there we go. We're back on here. My bitrate is atrocious though, still. Alright, that one looks like my bitrate might be recovering a bit. Okay, it looks like we might be back up and running. For those who are watching the live stream, it might be a little touchy for the moment, but hopefully that should pick back up.
Let me teach you all how to sleep like the general.
Let me show you what I can do recounting a restaurant menu. Steamed land, steamed lamb, steamed lamb, steamed lamb. So your shop only has one dish? Here comes our esteemed audience. Are you looking for something from us, or do you want us to do another skit for you? Can I record you? Alas, looks like our audience has some other ideas today. Come on, it's one thing to joke about others and a whole different thing to joke about our audience. If we do that, we'll end up becoming the joke in this business. Yeah, and you laugh at your customer, and you end up a bummer. You make an ill-timed joke, and you'll be broke. Wait, we're not making terrible jokes. We're straying from the point, so let's get back to it, folks. Now your audience wants a yes. Nah, forget it. It's terrible. Not catchy at all. There's still much room for our improvisation, but let's put it on hold for now. The recording thing sounds good to me, but I need my partner's opinion before making a final decision. Well, I'm not sure about that. But why not? It's just doing our regular customer a favor, right? A flat-out rejection will make us seem heartless. It's not like I want to reject your request outright, but Bakken and I are just crosstalk lovers. We don't have enough experience to put on a great show yet. We put a few decent shows, but that's all about it. To be frank, we've had fewer successful performances than the coins in my pocket. I just can't guarantee that our crosstalk comedy will really attract any customers for the tall Auntie Stalin and Aram Alley. Yeah, we might be older than you, but we don't have much more experience in crosstalk performances. We just don't want to leave any negative impressions on our potential audience. Because we simply don't have the time. We're just crosstalk lovers. We just got work to do at the dock to work days. Yeah, please understand our concerns. Don't make things too difficult for us. Please don't bring up recording thing again, but if you ever want to listen to our crosstalk, you're always welcome here. There's no room for negotiation in this matter, it seems. Maybe I should try my luck with Mr. Cian. Oh, that's such a pretty NPC. Distraction. I feel like he's also gonna say no, maybe. Is this pick-upable? It is not.
When it's friends against trails,
snobs they come and snobs they go, and good friends and manners are hard to come by. A storyteller on stage and a friend below. An acquaintance is worth more than thousands of gold. Unfortunately, you're still far too early for the show, but stick around if you don't mind listening to me chat about tea. I see your point. Actually, I prepared some shows for the Sleepless Earl. Feel free to record them if you want. Mr. Cian puts a lot of emotion into his performance. Okay, we at least got one. It's always great to have more listeners. An art form that is in decline deserves a chance to survive. Why are you sighing? Is there anything wrong with my performance, or are you worried about something else? Well, crosstalk, just like storytelling, seems to be on the decline these days. Totally understand why they're so cautious. After all, crosstalk shows aren't exactly a reliable source of income anymore. But they're new and inexperienced, so it's natural for them to have misunderstandings about the industry. If you want to record their crosstalk shows, I have a way to persuade them. It's simple, actually. You were just pulled into their way of thinking. Whether it's crosstalk or storytelling, it's all about constant practice in front of the audience. It's just like the Cloud Knight's daily training. Always performing in the same place can actually be detrimental to their growth. Although I understand that they still have jobs to do, honing crosstalk skills is all about accepting feedback from the audience and making constant improvements. Recording their performance could be beneficial for them, as it means they'll have a bigger audience to test out the new materials and get more feedback. This is way better than talking to themselves. Hang on, there's one more thing I'd like to say. You remember what I said, right? Just tell my words to them and they'll understand. And if they're still hesitant, just tell them that I'm planning to start a storytelling show in Arm Alley, and that I'd like to use their crosstalk as a warm-up act. Okay. He was more helpful than I was expecting. That child skips. That's so cute.
Let me teach you all how to sleep like the
Yeah, he's got a point. I should have realized that sooner. Never too late to make things right. Plus, I'll do anything for a chance to give a warm-up performance for Mr. Zien. If I ever get a chance to do that, it's in my dreams. I'd wake myself up from laughing so hard. Then what are we waiting for? Sure thing, let's do this. We'll swing by Tall Auntie's stall when we're free and get some feedback from our audience. Yeah, take your time. Please convey our thanks to her. Nice. Oh yeah, by the way, I forgot until I saw this D-ting. So, you get little, like, icons, right? And you can get some fun ones from doing accomplishments. This D-ting right here gives you an item, or an icon. D-ting lifts his front paws, draws an arch in the air at this round head, turns around and runs off into the distance. It looks like he has something to show you. Yeah, so if you have completed, like, part of the main story quest, and you talk to this D-ting and follow it, it'll give you a D-ting icon. I just saw this on a TikTok earlier. So gotta make sure we get this. Totally forgot about this until I saw the D-ting.
On quitting my job at the Skyfaring Commission.
D-ting circles around and sits down, expectantly wanting to see you open the chest and get something nice. But yeah, so we now have a D-ting icon. So now you can have D-ting as your icon. Super cute. Looks like my bitrate has finally recovered. Probably just a unfortunate momentary lapse in the internet, probably. This gives such like Cyber City vibes. It's so cool. As you're returning, you happen to run into Mingxi coming over for a visit. Since you called me over, Tall Auntie, looks like you've agreed to cooperate with the doc, I assume? Yeah, I have. I wonder if Kalos has brought me the recordings I needed. Here they are. Thank you so much. Let me try it out. Tall Auntie puts the recordings into her playback device. Thank you for your help. With these recordings, we'll definitely get more customers. Now my worries have been resolved, I gotta keep my promise. It's about... Oh, what was it again? Logistics planning, right? Apologies, I have a terrible memory. Yeah, that's the thing. Since Tall Auntie already mentioned it, then Kalis, please add the food stall into the logistics plan. This way the docks can have some new orders soon. So, one of them's gonna have to wrap around. So it'd be 1, 2, 3, 4. I feel like it would definitely be shorter to do this one to be the wraparound. Because it currently is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. And then minus 5 because of this. So 23. It'd be 18. While this way is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. So it's 3 spaces higher. If we went this way. But this one would give the 5 boost, right? Which would just make up for... It would still give me 1. But it would make up because to try and hit these would actually be worse. It's not great. But we'll work on it. Oh, it can be further optimized. Okay, so they agree that that's not the best score. Alright, so they're saying that there's like a better way to do this. That's 17. See, I feel like this one should be over here. Ooh. Okay, so that is the best route for now. Oh, that jumped it quite a bit. Thank you, Kalis. By the way, Sushang told me that these performers have prepared more shows. Feel free to drop by and check them out if you're interested. Thanks to your aid, more and more people are visiting the food stall.
Are huge! Just a few and you'll be full.
I love all the heron, or the cycranes running around. They're really cool. There's like a little background.
Regardless of the IPC's wishes, positive changes need to be made to Arum Alley. Mr. Yun Feng from the Heron Express sees cycranes as family, and he said he'd never turn his back on family.
I wonder if that's the guy that made the cycranes sentient. Here's the record of our Arum Alley's revitalization. Collaborate with stores to receive prosperity certificates. every merchant collab established attained 3. Remember to submit prosperity certificates to the Merchant Guild Logistics Department here and exchange them for rewards. Don't forget. Oh, that's cool. Okay, new order. So that takes up 4. That takes up 1. Okay. Trying to see, can I put this down? No. Can I put another chair down? No. A box? No. Let's do that one. Alright, so we'll start with these guys. Interesting. Okay, so if we load them the normal way. And then there's no spots available there. Wonder why they can't sit on these. Oh, I know. And then this, because it gives me a big placement. There we go. Yeah. Okay, the dock's logistics is steadily improving. The Heron Express is offering a more customizable order model. Custom orders. This is an important way to build trust with partner stores. Alright, new quest. By the way, Kalis, I need you to do me another favor. Recently, Yan Feng from the Heron Express suggested that we start custom orders to build trust with our customers. How to put it? Well, if you walk into a clothing store, you'll see regular clothes on the shelves. They're standard quality, affordable, and suitable to most customers' everyday needs. We call those clothes general orders. But in fancier stores, they have professional tailors take your measurements to make suits tailored just for you. Those are custom orders. In short, we need to customize our services to meet the unique needs of our customers. Exactly. Once we start providing custom orders, our customers will really see how good we are, and they'll have even more trust in RM Alley Merchant Guild. That means they'll be more willing to work with us down the line. So basically, you can think of custom orders as special challenges from our customers, and completing them will bring you splendid rewards. Yan Feng from the Heron Express will send us details for custom orders. By completing them, we'll be able to work even better with our customers. Anyway, with your amazing skills, Kalis, I don't think these custom orders will be much of a challenge. I'm counting on you. Oh, custom orders are here? Right, every store in RM Alley may provide custom order challenges where you need to arrange inventory to fulfill the specific requirements. After completing the custom orders from the stores, you can obtain prosperity certificates. I'm not really good at this, it's all in your hands. Okay, achieve order profit of 2,200. So it doesn't matter how we stack it as long as we can get the most profit. Delivery Dynamo. Thanks to you, Yanfeng is very satisfied with our custom order service. Now that we've built a long-term relationship with the Heron Express and strengthened our cooperation, we'll be able to get more high-end goods in the dock. Undoubtedly, Heron Express knows their stuff when it comes to shipping and delivery. They've been giving us really helpful, something. I'm sure there will be even more merchants who want to go on a deeper business relationship with us, so please keep look out for them.
There's still more work to do on the Arum Alley. The Merchant Guild's funds are not exactly overflowing right now. We need to work harder.
Huh, is there even a way to put 4 of them on one? You would think you could stack them this way. There we go. Oh, we're close. Alright, so... and then those are small. So... there we go. Alright, the International Peace Corporation put down a large sum of money on Arum Alley Dock and leased it to the Arum Alley Merchant Guild. However, the dock is not making ends meet, and in turn is becoming a headache for the Merchant Guild. If the Merchant Guild cannot pay back the dock's debt, Arum Alley may cease to exist.
I have something to tell you. We achieved our revenue goal for this quarter. This is all thanks to you two. Not to mention the merchants of Arum Alley. The Merchant Guild promises that we will use the money where it is meant to be spent. No disappointments. The funds will be used for the overall repair and upgrade of the dock. Which means we won't be able to use the dock's shipping logistics for a while.
Why would you fix someone else's dock? That's like if you rent a house from someone and then you do upgrades on the house. In the short term, yeah, it helps you, but in the long term, when eventually the landlord kicks you out or you move away, the landlord has free upgrades that they didn't have to pay for and they did not pay you for, unless they're a good landlord. Some of them will be like, oh, there are upgrades that you want but don't necessarily mean that I need. We'll split the bill some way. Sometimes they do that. On behalf of the Arum Alley Merchant Guild, I want to once again express our deepest gratitude to you. Thanks to your diligent efforts, we have successfully earned a total of 100,000 in guild funds before the repayment deadline, reaching the revenue target. The Merchant Guild pledges to use the funding to repay what is owed and also improve Arum Alley's infrastructure. We promise to use these hard-earned gains to achieve the maximum effect. As efforts to rebuild prosperity progress, the Aurum Alley night market has undergone changes. The collaboration between the Merchant Guild and the merchants has deepened, and the dock now has new demands for custom orders. Compared to the past, the streets of Aurum Alley have become much livelier, and various street events have become available. Oh, okay, so lots of new events that'll get us this prosperity coin.
In order to reward you and Su Shang for your long hours of work, the Merchant Guild has ordered some gourmet snacks from Tall Auntie, so you can rest for a bit and prepare for the revival of Aurum Alley.
I don't feel like it's gonna be that easy. I feel like we're setting up some flags. Have at least 16 goods. Okay. So... So that's obviously not it, because we need 4 more. Okay, so that's still, we would need 4 more. Three more. Okay. We're getting closer. The chair won't do anything for us because it's like the last thing that can be on there. Okay, there we go. That took some finagling. Fill up the freight starskip as you wish. Okay. So obviously you want to fill it up with whatever you can to make the most money. Sure, there are other ways you could have done that to make more money, but
Regardless of we should set the dock matters aside for now. There are more urgent issues at hand.
alright, what do these do? Unlock new route advantages after completing the event. Okay, so we need to do the events first. We'll come back. Oh, Cycrane, why are you on the floor? Are you kind enough to help me? Please help me install this jade abacus. We already know Cycranes can talk. We've talked to the 7 deadly ones. What's illegal about boosting productivity? My sensors are too outdated, so I bought new jade abacus at personal expense to upgrade myself. Unfortunately, oh my goodness, I don't have any hands, so I can't install it. Could you please? Now that I'm updated, I can complete deliveries better, bringing the Hiren Express over 22 higher productivity. Of course there is. I feel anxious every time I think about all the work left waiting to be done at the Heron Express. I'll never clock off. Never stop working. Workaholic, okay. Help me out, I'm in a rush. So that one's easy enough to get there. So what we need is we need to get this one right there, and then do that. Easy enough. I can feel ever so clearly the slightest hint of slipstream. Time to fly off. I'm off. Thank you, stranger. Okay. Complete specific street type events to generate new route advantages in the courier network and obtain higher logistics scores. Yep, that's why I'm doing it, before I work on my logistics route. Where's my next one?
Dumplings and steamed buns. The buns are huge. Nice day. Just a few and you'll be full.
Oh, another one?
Miss Secretary asked me to prepare some refreshments for you earlier. Make yourselves comfortable. I'll bring them out shortly.
I'm trying to get done with like the first section of the event because it looks like it's in 3 parts. And then we'll call it a day. Hey Kalis, do you still remember meeting the IPC rep at the dock? Yes. The one who wanted you to apologize publicly and bark like a dog? Yeah, that dirtbag. Minji, I heard there have been cases of goods being damaged during transportation the last few days. Is he the saboteur? I knew this would happen. That's him. We caught him and he's right here at the docks. Be right over. I love watching drama unfold. Oh, I love it. It's a cute little Little icon. That's adorable. Didn't I say this? It's straight out of a donghua plot. It's like, they're like, oh, you actually are going to be able to win the bet. I have to sabotage it. I'm working my tail off while that slumber bot of a Psycrane is slacking off. What happened? Oh, it's you, Kalis. You came at just the right time. I got myself tied up in knots over what to do about this unruly Psycrane. Here's the deal. I received some takeaway orders, but the Psycrane that is supposed to deliver them just keeps slacking off instead. I've been on a wild goose Psycrane chase trying to catch it, but it's way too quick for me. At this point, I know that bird's habits like the back of my hand. It's probably napping on a pile of boxes down at the dock this very moment. Speaking of which, it's gone missing again today. I'm pretty sure it's taking a nap down at the dock, but I'm too busy to go looking for it myself. Could you track it down and give it a little nudge? Sure. And we'll pick that up while we're going by. Hopefully that's not a area triggered. You hear a peculiar snore emanating from the box treasure chest in front of you. Recalling the urban legends you've heard in Ciencio, you can't help but wonder if this is it's a fairy in a box. Curious, you move closer to the box, hoping to collapse again to the fairy in a box. However, all you see is a snoozing Psycrane grinding its teeth, fast asleep. Wait, do Psycranes even have teeth? Whatever. It's a Psycrane that's slouched over and sleeping. You try to wake it up, but it just flutters its wings, pretending not to hear you before drifting back to sleep. You decide to... Let's take the bat out. Please, have some mercy. I'm just slacking off. You're using excessive force. Who are you? You see, it's not like I'm not working. I just wanted to do the work at a later time. Alright, I get it. My nap time's over. Sheesh, no need to push me. I'll get back to work now. Okay. And then I should have at least one more of these guys to do. On Cosmo Street. Oh, another Psycrane? Please, help me. I'm about to break down. What am I supposed to do? I cannot even pretend to do whirring machine noises. Okay, so I need to move them from here to down here.
Nice.
Okay. Easy peasy. Thank you. I encountered a Psycrane on Psycrane traffic accident earlier. I rear-ended several innocent Psycranes mid-air and unfortunately ended up crashing. A series of accidents. Ever heard of deep learning? I've been carefully studying traffic rules from the Ciencio Psycranes, and also viewed over 500 years of Psycrane traffic accident recordings. I've mastered the various ways of Psycrane encounter accidents, and collected some in situ physical parameters just now, so I now thoroughly understand traffic accidents. You can call me Maestro Psycrane of Traffic Accidents. I'll keep making deliveries and never have another accident again. I'm getting late and I have to go back to these deliveries. Thank you, stranger. We'll just take that. Oh, I love that he's just chilling on the box. That's cool.
You're just in time. Everyone is asking this IPC goon for an explanation.
Calling someone an IPC goon isn't very becoming of a Cloud Knight now, is it?
You threw slander first, sir.
I'm not here today as a representative of the IPC. I'm just a tourist. You could just call me Scott. I have no quarrel with you. Can't a man come here to deliver a package without being surrounded?
There's something wrong with the stuff this guy is shipping. It's causing damage to other people's goods, and our dock here is liable for the compensation.
Speak louder. I can't quite hear you. Is this how you treat guests in our room alley?
Let's open that package right here, right now. Then we'll see what he's hiding.
Do you have the warrant to do that?
I'd be careful if I were you. If you damage my goods, you'll have to pay for them. Did I hear that right? He said he can afford to pay for it. What a surprise.
No need to make this difficult.
Su Shang and workers place Scott's package on the floor.
Let's check and see if there's anything suspicious.
Well, I mean, this Ingenium probably is the one that's breaking things. Crucible named Golden Cloud Toe. Considering how many hostile Ingenia you've encountered, this is suspiciously quiet. Wait, you sense a malicious intent brewing in the air. A fight is imminent. As expected, the toad springs to life. It's not that much of a threat for you, but the silent screaming of the fragile goods nearby is too loud to be ignored.
Follow my charge. Show no mercy.
You tampered with this Ingenium so that it caused damage to other goods on the freight skiff.
Speak louder. I can't quite hear you. Conclusive evidence? Deny? Here, look carefully. This old piece of junk doesn't even belong to me.
What?
If you don't believe me, just ask the dock workers.
If I may, he's telling the truth. This golden cloud toad does not belong to Mr. Scott.
Then why was the toad here in the first place?
Okay, sleep well. I'll be closing up the stream soon anyway, but thank you for stopping and lurking.
That's your problem, not mine. Now, let me ask you a question. My vase was almost smashed to pieces. What do you say about that?
The keyword here is almost. I love that me and Kalis are in the same realm.
Oh, you wanted it to be broken? After making a big scene like that, don't you owe me an apology?
Nope.
I guess we do.
Well, are you going to apologize or not?
Sorry.
For this kind of barbarity, a single apology won't ever be enough. Just think of this as a practice round for later.
Of course it wouldn't be his directly so that he can't get in trouble for it. I wouldn't have apologized.
He fooled us this once, but he won't fool us next time.
Sorry. I should have stepped in.
My mother always told me that as long as I honed my skills, I'd be able to deal with any situation. Seems I've still got honing to do.
Before the payment due date arrives, I'm going to teach you two how to fight. With words. Follow me. We're going to see the president.
I want to update the logistics. Oh, thank goodness.
There's still more work to do. The dock is undergoing an unscheduled safety inspection. It would be best if you took care of other urgent issues first.
Okay, I just need to update the logistics and I'll have one set of things done. Ooh, another ticket. I think that puts me at like 9. New route advantages seem to have appeared in the Coronet. Click to see the effects. It passed through here. The route score increases by 20. So those all give a 20 upgrade. Increases the route score by 3. Or by 5. And another by 5. Oh, way over here. And these also increase by 5. Alright. Let's see. Ooh. $88. That means I could boost it somehow. Erase here and erase here. There we go. Alright, and so that gives me both the first one in both sections. And it seems once again that my internet might be freaking out because unlock at level 8 because I just saw the OBS disconnected again. Well, we were intending to call it a day anyway, so thank you all so much for watching. My name's Poetentate, I go by Poe. Oh, we have an achievement. Let's grab that real fast. Complete a custom order. And let's check these real fast. 8. Ah, we're so close. This would get me 3. I could get another 3 here, which would get me 6. I really want to pull like right now, but we still have 2 more weeks, so we can wait. We can wait. But anyway, so thank you all so much for watching. My name's Poetentate. I go by Poe. Hopefully we'll get Dan Heng next time. It's gonna be sad to wait, but considering I had the equilibrium level up, it looks like we're about to cash in on, not that, on a bunch of these guys, and so I'll definitely be able to oh, my pity on the limited banner and the standard banner is the same. They're both at 75. So next time I'm pulling, I'll definitely be able to get some we'll probably be able to see a 5-star, unless it makes me go all the way up to 90, which would be rough. But thank you all so much for coming. My name's Poetentate. I go by Poe. This is the 3rd time I've said it, but thank you all. Thanks for cheering on my Zhongli pulls, and I hope you have a great weekend, and anyone you're pulling for, that you have good luck too. Thank you, and goodbye!